Learning to understand English can be overwhelming for immigrants. Find out more about what one local organization is doing next on Connecting Our Community. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Connecting Our Community. I'm Karen Allen. While learning to understand English can be a huge challenge for recent immigrants, understanding the culture can be hard enough. And when you add not being able to read, write, or understand English, it could be much harder to succeed. Well, tonight we're joined by Executive Director of the Literacy Council of Montgomery County, Danielle Verbeest. Danielle, welcome. Thank you for joining us. First of all, what is the Literacy Council?
The Literacy Council is an organization started in 1963. Our mission is to enable adults to improve their English literacy skills and thereby also their community. And we teach them to read, write, speak English. We have done that for many years, as I said, since 1963. We have several programs. Initially, we started as a basic literacy program, and just to clarify, basic literacy are those students who can speak or understand English, but they do not know how to read, write, or read.
Are you talking recent immigrants only?
No,
or
those are not immigrants. So those are born and raised here in the United States or in an English-speaking country, so English is their first language. Then as the county's immigrant population grew, the organization saw the need for services to ESL students, English as second language learners. We are a county very rich and diverse. The population is still growing, the immigrants, so we see increased need. Our programs are targeted to also serve those foreign-born students. We have classroom programs, we have one-on-one tutoring programs, and we serve about 1,500 adult learners every year.
That's a lot.
That is a lot, yes. But unfortunately, we are not able to meet the full need of the county. So the Literacy Council keeps a waiting list. We cap it about 200 students because at a certain point we know that we won't be able to serve them, and giving them an opportunity on the waiting list also creates expectations, and we do not wish to.
Why is it that you're so limited?
The limitation comes from the availability of tutors. So in our tutoring program, we have about 700 volunteers who work one-on-one with these students. And there's a lot of wonderful, wonderful tutors, but we need more volunteers.
So that's what we're going to get to. By the end of this show, we will have given everybody an opportunity, of course, and invite them to volunteer, won't we? Because there's tons of people who can help by tutoring, and I'm sure you don't need to have a PhD or a college degree even, right?
We train our volunteers.
Wonderful, that's great.
Yeah.
So it's easy. But I'm wondering what kind of ages that you teach, because I know since you added the immigrant population to your student that you help, that could be any age group. Correct?
Well, we serve adult learners.
Oh, okay.
A lot of the children are served through the Montgomery County Public School System. So the Literacy Council really focuses on serving adult learners. So what we see in our programs is ages 18 and up.
And that's a lot.
That is a lot, yes.
Because there are so many people coming to this country.
There are a lot of people coming to this country. When you look, for instance, at the state of Maryland, 40% of the immigrant population of the state of Maryland live actually in Montgomery County. So you see a high concentration here in our county.
That's almost half.
That is, yes.
Half of the amount of people that immigrate to this state, almost half, are in this county.
Right, correct.
That's
and that then results
amazing.
in, yes, 1 out of every 7 county residents here in Montgomery County are limited English proficient, so can use services like the Literacy Council provides.
1 out of every 7. That's staggering, really. That's a lot of people.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah.
And from where do you find most of or what's the ranking in terms of the countries that they come from?
They come from many different countries. Last year they came from over 85 countries, including the United States. So the highest concentrations come from Latin America and Asia.
Okay.
But we have Eastern Europe, we have every,
But you said they also come from the United States?
They do.
As in other states?
Right, because the basic literacy program that we provide also targets still the U.S. born students as well. So those who grew up here, but have not been able to learn how to read or write.
American born.
American born and who
I
went
see.
through the school system here, but
But
are
are
not.
still, that's a tragedy.
It is, yes.
That is really sad. Wow.
Yeah.
Let's reflect on that for a second. So not just that are actually coming from immigrants, but
Right.
actual, that's just, you don't even know what to, I don't even know what to say to
No.
that. That's so
And
sad.
people really hide it. They try to hide
Yeah.
it because, you know, it's not easy to. Right.
They're shamed, of course.
Right.
Of course they're
So-
shamed. That's really unbelievable.
But fortunately, we were able to help them in our basic literacy tutoring program. So we have wonderful volunteers who work with them.
That's good.
Yeah.
It would be kind of a shame to see American-born kids who, because of whatever reason, you know, unable to, having to stand in line and not being able to,
Right.
you know.
Not being able to read a form when they're at the doctor's office.
Yeah.
Or
80 countries, though, and
more, over 80 countries that are represented in our student base. Yeah,
clearly you need
very
you
rich.
need a lot more help. Wow,
Yes.
that's just so amazing. Wow. All right. What kind of programs do you actually have? You mentioned your basic tutoring program.
Right. So we have a tutoring program. So that's the program where we recruit and train volunteers to work one-on-one with a student. And we do that for basic literacy students and ESL students. And the student then meets once a week, usually with their tutor, and works then through several different curricula books to advance their English literacy skills.
And how long does that take? Is it a matter of hours or classes or weeks or?
Well, it can take a couple of years to really go through. There's 4 levels in that program, and it can take about a year per level for a student to complete. Then we have a classroom-based program, so that's more intensive, and we have different levels there as well, low beginning to high advanced. And those classes are taught by certified teachers.
I see. Okay.
Because that's more intensive instruction. And it really depends on the student what works best for them.
Some of them will be working full time.
Exactly. Those are some barriers.
Children.
Exactly.
So it depends on how much they can give, how much time they can give.
Exactly.
And do you charge for these things?
No, we offer our programs a little to no cost to students. And what that means is that in our tutoring program, we ask a small fee of the student once they register. That's $15. And in the classroom program, we ask our students to purchase their own books because it's very, helpful when they can do their homework and work through the books at home. But the classes are all free, and it's our goal to keep them free as well. We don't want that to be an additional barrier to all the barriers they have.
So the certified teachers are also volunteers?
No, that we do pay them. We get funding.
Okay.
Yes, and we pay them.
That would be amazing.
That would be, yes.
Yeah.
But and then the classroom program, we have special programs that are focused on different areas. We have workplace literacy programs where we really focus on vocabulary skills necessary to function better in the workplace. And we have a new program, an English for Health program, because that's also an area that most of our students will indicate that they would like to be better, communicating with their doctors, and very important. So we started this initiative last year. And we're partnering with the local clinics and hospitals to use their facilities and offering classes there in the context of health.
That's a great idea. Also, many of them get very basic health jobs. And often you'll find them, immigrants and such, and, in home health care and things like that, and they end up sometimes being very good at those jobs. That's wonderful. So you're obviously, the answer to the question as to is there one location where all the classes are offered would be a no.
No, we offer our locations throughout the county. So the classes take place at libraries in Gaithersburg, high schools, for instance, in Rockville, in Silver Spring. Tutoring sessions work differently. Our tutors meet with their students anywhere in the county as long as it's a public place. Most students and tutors, they do choose for a library, but it can be a Starbucks as long as it's public. So we are from all the way up in Germantown to all the way down south, Silver Spring, Wheaton area.
That's convenient.
Yes, we really want to make sure that we meet our students, where they are at.
Yeah.
And so that's why we keep it all over the county.
Are there certain age groups that you actually focus on or try to reach out to in particular?
No. Any adult who needs our services, we invite them to either sign up for the tutoring program if we have space, or to come out to one of our classroom orientations, where we always, per location in the classroom program, hold 2 nights of orientations, where students come out, they get more information about the program, the expectations, the time investment on their end, what we are going to do to help them, and then also they will get tested so that we know what level they are at and if we're able to offer a class at that level.
How many students do you think you service at any one time? You probably explained this to me earlier, but I got a little confused because there's so much going on.
So much going on, yeah. If you look across the entire organization, we serve about 1,500 students every year.
Every year?
Right. And
through the year?
Through the year. And then depending on classes, our classes can usually hold up to 20 students because we feel that's sort of the cap that we feel most comfortable with. Depends on the location, actually, for the classrooms. At certain sites, we have 5 classes because it's really high-need areas.
Okay.
Silver Spring is a high-need area. Gaithersburg is a high-need area. But then there's also sites where we, for instance, have 2 or 3 classes, depending on the need.
Okay. All right. When we come back, I want to ask you about yourself, because if I'm not mistaken, you're an immigrant too?
I am, yes.
We'll talk about that.
All right.
No running away, Danielle.
When you donate goods in response to an international disaster, it's expensive.
They have to cross the sea, pass through customs, be inspected, sorted, then finally delivered.
And often they arrive too late to help, making your good intentions feel a little empty.
There is a better way.
Cash donations are fast, simple, and allow professional relief workers to purchase supplies close at hand.
Cash is best. Learn more at CIDI.org.
Did you know that since 1963, the Literacy Council of Montgomery County has provided English language instruction for adults?
Expiration, it's abbreviated, right?
LCMC offers a variety of free or low-cost learning pathways for students at all levels, including individual, small group, and classroom options.
Comparing the compound sentences.
We rely on volunteers to help provide many of our direct services, along with professional educators.
Was here, Excellency, I don't have to teach you.
The Literacy Council of Montgomery County serves 1,500 learners annually. If you'd like more information about our adult literacy programs, or you would like to volunteer, please call 301-610-0030 or go to literacycouncilmcmd.org.
Welcome back, everyone. Danielle Verbiest, the Executive Director of the Literacy Council of Montgomery County, is still with us. And as I said before, you yourself are an immigrant. And how did you get from wherever you came to the Literacy Council?
Right. I am Dutch. I was born and raised in Holland, and I studied many languages as I grew up. It's pretty common in Holland to study more languages. Since
How many do you know?
Well, I grew up, I studied German, I studied, of course, English, French, and then in college, in university, I started learning Mandarin Chinese.
Oh my goodness.
So,
do you speak all of those fluently?
Not anymore. Unfortunately, with any language, you got to use it.
Yeah.
At the Literacy Council, I have some more opportunities as we have so many different backgrounds of students that I'm still able to use sometimes my Mandarin Chinese, which is very nice.
That seems like a whole other direction than Dutch.
It does, yes, it is. But I find language is very fascinating. It's the tool to communicate, to connect with other people, other cultures, and I love to travel. I've lived abroad several countries, and it's a wonderful experience. And as you are in a different environment and so different from your own, you're really throw back basically to yourself. And if you're not able to take a bus or read any signs, I had that the first time I went to China. I was very overwhelmed, and I can so relate to the students we serve because that's exactly it. And
Right.
it's a journey. So I studied languages. I studied abroad and in China. I met my husband over there, and he moved to the United States. And then after finishing up my degrees and everything, I joined him here. And as I moved to the United States about 5 years ago, I started working for local nonprofits and been very blessed to have had the opportunity about a year ago to join the Literacy Council. And I'm here today.
But we should also say your husband is not Chinese,
He's-
nor is he American.
No, he's not. He's originally from Somalia. So yes.
It's a true international family.
Yes, we are. Yes, yes.
That is really, and you have kids?
We have one daughter. Yes.
It's just great.
So
I
we
think it's
speak many
fun.
languages.
Where would the next place to be that if you wanted to move overseas, where would you go?
I would love to go back to Asia. Yes.
Any specific place?
A new country. So not China again. I don't know. Maybe Japan. I don't know.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Definitely good for sushi.
Yes.
That's very exciting, and I must say that I share your, the experience of living overseas is like none other, and you certainly learn a lot. I did that too, and it's simply amazing. Well, is there, back to the Literacy Council, which I see that you bring so much to that job. How can you not love it, and how can you not be perfect for it? Because you share the definitely international perspective. Is there any one age group that you seem to seek a lot more of, and therefore kind of really have learned that you should expect more of and to maybe cater more to?
Not really. We cater to all adult students. So
Is there more of a certain age group though? Like, is there more like from 20 to 40 than there are 60 to 80?
well, yeah, 60 to 80 will be the fewer students in that age category. Yes, certainly. Yeah.
It's more younger.
It's more
oriented, 'cause
yes, and the adults coming here who really want to continue in their own profession, because amongst our students are those who might be illiterate in their own native language, but there's also those who are professionals, doctors, lawyers, who come here, and they only have the language barrier in order to take the exams and get going again. So,
Right.
yeah.
Do you ever ask them why they come to this
Yeah.
country? Is it the American dream always, or?
It can be different reasons for different people. Sometimes it's joining their spouse who had an opportunity, or for some people it is because this is a safer country
Right.
to live. So it's always very inspiring to hear our students' stories, and it's for every student it's different. Their journey is different. Their goals are different. We have students who want to get back into the workforce, so they're really focused on that. We have moms who would like to be able to use English to speak
Right.
to their child's teacher and participate in a parent-teacher conference.
Right, of course. Do you have a
So-
favorite?
Actually, all of these stories, and when we see our students at different events, we have opportunities for our students to share, and they're all very special to me. I would think that maybe the ones that are on top of the list, of the very beautiful list we have, are the ones that are sort of similar to my own journey, because that's really then a deep personal connection. But I find every student story inspirational.
Give me a couple of examples of interesting stories that our viewers would be interested in.
Right. So we have a gentleman who actually graduated from our basic literacy program, and he went to the doctor, filled out one of those questionnaires that we get, and checked off the wrong box, and that sort of made his illiteracy problem surface. He checked off that he was pregnant. So
Okay.
then he was like, I really have to do something about it. And this gentleman was already in his 50s. So he successfully went through the tutoring program and is able to read, write, is actually an author right now, and he's currently working on his second book, and very inspirational. And then for our classroom program, ESL classroom program students, at our recent annual meeting in May, we had a student lawyer in Venezuela, and she moved here and really very motivated. All of our students are so motivated. They work so hard while juggling all of these other factors, children, you know, family and everything, work. And she spoke very eloquently about her journey and that she really wants to learn English as fast as possible so that she can take the exam again and practice the law again. And then, so many of these different stories, different goals, yeah, it's very special, and I see that in all of our staff because, you know, we have 13 people on our staff, and everybody does a wonderful job together with all our volunteers. And we so much enjoy seeing the journey of our students, seeing the confidence built, and seeing them being, you know, getting settled and getting more comfortable and blossoming and reaching their full potential, whatever that may be.
It's wonderful that they're so driven, ambitious,
Yes.
and working hard, and that's if only the candidates for president would you know, would get that. But
Okay.
okay, do you work with employers to attract students?
We are, it's a recent initiative to focus on workplace literacy. So we do work with employers in the county where we go and actually teach their employees English literacy skills. We currently are also working on a smaller initiative where it's sort of a hybrid between a classroom setting and a tutor setting, one-on-one, where we actually go to the workplace at a restaurant and meet students there, a few students, and meet them between lunch and dinner time, because it's all about, you know, meeting the students where they are.
Yeah.
And we hope to expand on that, because for over 70% of our students, getting a job or getting a better job is one of their goals. So we definitely want to partner with more employers.
And what is Scrabble Scramble?
Scrabble Scramble is our annual fundraiser that we usually have in the springtime. And as the title says, it's a Scrabble game. We did adapt it a little bit, so people do not play individually, but they play as teams. And it's a wonderful event where people can come and play a fun game of Scrabble, play against other teams, learn more about what the Literacy Council does. But that's our major fundraiser.
What a great idea. Now, I know that we said at the beginning of the show that you have a lot of volunteer opportunities and that you really need volunteers.
Yes.
Let's just go through it so people really understand. What criteria is needed to be a volunteer? And what do you have to do to become a volunteer? What would be expected? Let's really get people on board for you guys, because it's such a great program.
Yes, thank you. We have many volunteer opportunities. The biggest need is for volunteer tutors. And in order to become a volunteer tutor, someone has to be an adult, 18 or over, you know, good command of the English language, of course, as you will be teaching another person the language. And that is it. You sign up to come for an information session where you will hear more about the program. If after the information session you're still, you still feel that this is a good fit for you, then you join us for one of our workshops. It's 2 Saturdays, consecutive Saturdays, and you get fully trained, and then we match you with a student. So you do not need a specific background to become a volunteer tutor. You just need to have the time. We ask our volunteer tutors to commit for at least a year, because it is an intensive process. So,
yeah, I think that's amazing. So all you're expected to do is take 2 consecutive Saturdays after you sign up, and you sign up online, right?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can go to the website, and then there's full information about the upcoming information sessions as well as the workshops.
LiteracyCouncilMCMD.org.
Correct.
So we can make that very clear.
Yes.
LiteracyCouncilMCMD.org is the website. They have an online form that you can complete, correct?
Correct.
And you can also call 301-610-0030. That's 301-610-0030. Let's just make that very clear.
Okay.
Because you don't need special training. All you have to do is be able to have command of the English language.
Right.
Right?
Yes.
Do you have to be a native English speaker?
Not necessarily native, but with an advanced, of course, knowledge of the language.
Right.
Yes.
So even if if it's not your first language,
If it's not your first language like mine, but you do, have good command of the English language, then certainly.
Because you speak almost without an accent.
Okay, thank you.
You have to be clearly understood, right? Basically.
Exactly, exactly. So, and then there's other volunteer opportunities as well. We can always use volunteers for our classroom program, for volunteers to assist the teachers. We are looking for volunteers in our health literacy program to help us, maybe somebody with a health background who wants to come present or help with a mock clinic. Or for one of our smaller programs, we work with local schools, with 3 elementary schools, where we teach the adults English and then partner that with a children component, so that the children of the parents are actually working in the program as well. So there's opportunities there for internships as well as volunteer teachers. Yes, and the full list is all on the website.
Wow. Danielle, thank you so much. This is great.
Thank you.
The Literacy Council of Montgomery County, this is fantastic. I so appreciate this. I do want to tell everybody you can also go to the Connecting Our Community blog on the mymcmedia.org website. Thank you, Danielle.
Thank you, Karen.
Thanks, everybody, for joining us. I'm Karen Allen. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Did you know that since 1963, the Literacy Council of Montgomery County has provided English language instruction for adults?
Expiration, it's abbreviated, right?
LCMC offers a variety of free or low-cost learning pathways for students at all levels, including individual, small group, and classroom options.
Comparing the compound sentences.
We rely on volunteers to help provide many of our direct services, along with professional educators.
Was here. Excellency, I don't have to teach you.
The Literacy Council of Montgomery County serves 1,500 learners annually. If you'd like more information about our adult literacy programs, or you would like to volunteer, please call 301-610-0030 or go to literacycouncilmcmd.org.